Really quick, I want to mention one thing because I'm probably not going to get the chance to mention it ever again, but they cast this guy while I saw Captain America to play the new Han Solo in the Han Solo Chewbacca solo film. I have faith in him. Just, if you ever see him on the street, bump into him, never tell him the odds, please, of him measuring up to Harrison Ford. Don't tell him the odds. Hey everybody, welcome to MaffmanJones Movie Reviews. I'm your host, John Maffio, and obviously I am Team Cap, and this is the review for Captain America Civil War, the latest installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's directed by the Russo brothers, who come back from their last feature, Captain America the Winter Soldier. This cast is tremendous. I'm not going to mention everybody, but we have basically every main character in the universe except for Hulk and Thor, because they had their own movie, Ragnarok, which will be coming out in a couple years. The story is basically about the divide of the Avengers, the Sokovia Records. It's a law-abiding agreement that allows the government to interfere with the actions of our superheroes. We have characters who are against it and characters who are with it. Captain America, Steve Rogers is against it. Tony Stark, Iron Man, is for it. And this disagreement causes a lot of emotional turmoil that causes a lot of distress. Captain America Civil War is the first film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a long time, probably ever, to really make me feel true emotional weight. A lot of the movies that have been in the universe have allowed me to feel some type of way, but this is the first film to really take everything that's happened in the last 8 years within this universe and really throw it down on you. It really just throws the emotional weight on you. There's a really huge sense of dread in the film for what's been going on. The people died. Cities were destroyed. Catastrophes on an enormous level have occurred throughout this entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it finally all comes to a head with this film. A lot of actions and choices that were taken from our main protagonists come to bite them in the ass in this movie. As fun as the movie is, which it is very fun, the core of the story is very honestly and genuinely serious. Chris Evans as Steve Rogers again kills it. I can't say anything less about him. There's nothing that could be better with him. All of his scenes bring gravitas, and he really brings more to the role on an emotional level, as well as Robert Downey Jr., this is probably Downey Jr.'s best performance since the original Iron Man. He brings a lot more to the table because a lot has happened to him, and you do still get that light side of the character. You really feel that a lot has been driven down on him due to his decision making in all these movies, and he's not screwing around. He's not. But you really feel where he's coming from with his motivations, along with everybody else, but you really truly understand the motivations of Tony Stark in this film, and it's accredited to Robert Downey Jr. for just being such a great acting anchor in this universe. Scarlet Witch is much improved in this movie. I didn't care for her in Age of Ultron, but she has a lot more to do here. I really liked Vision a lot more. Chadwick Boseman, who plays Black Panther. I wasn't really into the character of Black Panther before I saw this movie. I haven't even read a single comic from him, but now I can't wait for a solo movie because he has a lot to do in this film. You understand his motivations for why he's involved in the story, and this actor is full of such charisma, but you really feel his presence whenever he's on screen, whether he's being Black Panther or just being the heir to the throne of Wakanda, which is a city that he's part of in the movies. He's just fantastic. His fighting style, though, is really, really unique, and it's really fun to watch him interact with these characters from a fighting standpoint, as well as just a human interactive standpoint. And I gotta get this out of the way really quick, because I'm a big Spider-Man fan. If I talk too long about it, I'll get emotional, but this is very important to me. Marvel acquired the rights to Spider-Man a couple years ago, and they were able to get him into this movie. He's played by Tom Holland. And not to spoil how much he's in the movie, how he's integrated into the storyline, but what they give him, it's quite something. I'm already getting emotional. This is bad. Tom Holland is really good. Now, this is in the direction of the Russo brothers, who helped make this movie and helped create the story. So I don't know how he's going to be under the director of Cop Car in Spider-Man Homecoming, but how they portray him in this movie is incredible. as awesome as it was seeing Spider-Man do his thing in this movie, seeing Tom portray Peter Parker, it was the first time I really resonated with the character since Spider-Man 2, and that was 12 years ago. When I was 11, I can't stress this enough, how excited I am to see the future of Spider-Man. Segueing from the webhead, there's a lot of threads being interweaved in this film that have culminated from previous movies, and I think the Russo brothers, the directors of this film, did a really good job of balancing everything in this movie. It's very busy as a film. The plot as a whole has a lot going on, but it's a lot more coherent than you may expect. And you never really have a chance to relax in this movie. It does start on a very somber note for the first act of the film, but you always have something to see. There's never a dull moment. The serious moments have a lot of weight held within them. The levity with the comedy is perfect. A lot of the humor, thanks to Spider-Man, and a lot of other characters, to be honest, that you wouldn't expect to have humor. It really works. And the action is incredible. There are a couple moments where there is some shaky cam that kind of distracted me, but not too much. The action overall is something to behold, and there is a scene, everybody talks about it in their reviews, but the airport scene, it's a really special cinematic superhero action scene that reminds you of when you were a kid playing with action figures. It's very imaginative in that sense. But then the third act is not as action-packed as you may expect. It's a very emotionally driven third act, and I have never been more invested in these characters than I was in this third act. And I keep dwelling on what happens with these characters. It does end on a note where you can't help but think, wow, that's kind of heartbreaking. Especially if you've been invested with these characters for 8 years since Iron Man started in 2008. It really leaves an impact on you. And then the villain of the film, the antagonist. If you don't want to say the antagonist is just the division, the diverging of these protagonists that we all love and care for, there is an antagonist, so to speak, in this movie, not to spoil, and I think the way he was portrayed, the actor who portrayed him, did a really good job. I think for what the movie was trying to sell in this very busy story that was coherent, they did a good job of integrating his motivations into the storyline, and it made sense to me why he was there, why he was doing what he was doing, and exactly how he went about to do it. But overall, Captain America Civil War is truly a culmination of all the events that have occurred in the last 8 years in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it pays off tremendously. All the characters get their chance to shine thanks to some really great actors that portray all these characters. The action is beautiful in the sense that you really feel like a kid watching these scenes happen. And when you watch the scenes that are supposed to be heartbreaking, it really, truly feels heartbreaking, especially if you've been with these characters from the beginning. And it's a great, great, fun, tremendously emotional action movie that has a lot to say. It has a lot to say. It's a great overall package of a movie, and that's why it is a 5 out of 5. It is Moff-A-docious. If you've only seen the Avengers and the main movies, you might not be as invested in the story, but I still think there's no way you could walk into this movie and come out and not have a fun time with it and not feel the emotion, because they do a really good job of telling the story. As far as spoilers are concerned, I actually am not going to be doing a spoiler review, but I will have a spoiler video up in a couple weeks because actually I am doing a live podcast. Yes, the MaffmanJones movie podcast will be live. It's going to be at Comic Book Jones in the Staten Island area, so if you live in New York and you want to stop by, definitely come by, because it's going to be fun. So I will have a video for that as I, John Ryan Anderson, and Mike Potenza will be discussing all the spoilers of the movie. We will definitely have something up for you to see, and I can't wait to be talking spoilers so you guys can see, we all can discuss it. But now I want to know what you think, spoiler-free, or if you're going to do spoilers, just tag it. What did you think of Civil War? Let me know down below. Favorite characters, favorite moments, and how you think this is going to impact the universe moving forward. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and check out my Facebook and Twitter accounts in the info box. I'm John Maffio, aka MaffmanJones, and we live in a golden age of comic book stuff. Appreciate this now, guys. Appreciate this now while we have it. I'll see you guys next time.